Hi, hi, I'm Dr. Patty Ann Ford, and if you are wanting to reach certain health outcomes that include your body weight, a lot of times people assume that's what dietitians do for the most part, and I want to provide some clarity that there can be so many other things that food can provide you with. My personal favorite is joy and creativity, and it can be a huge source of pleasure in your life. However, we have a culture that has really taken a negative approach to food that can do so much harm. And that's some of my favorite work to do, is allowing people to find the creativity and joy in food again. However, if you are trying to manage certain health outcomes and you're using food as a tool to help get to that outcome, one tip: focus on fiber as much as you can. There's different types of fiber. They can affect your digestion, but overall, minimum 28 to 35 grams, depending upon your gender. The more, the better. Not always though, because sometimes it can cause some indigestion, maybe bloating, maybe diarrhea, depending upon the type that you're having. But really try to focus on where can I find the most fibrous foods at most meals. So to give you some examples, any sort of fresh plant, like a vegetable or a fruit, any sort of legume or grain, so like almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, any sort of seed, beans, anything that's coming from a plant is going to have naturally a really, a heap ton of fiber. More than 5 grams a serving, if you're into numbers, would be considered high. And then some people supplement. You can use psyllium husk, or you can use certain things to supplement. But if you're really trying to focus on food, plant products are going to have the most bang for your buck when it comes to the grams per volume. You want to have it often and consistently throughout the day. Sometimes if you have 15, 20 grams of fiber at a meal, you can have indigestion, bloating, cramping, or potentially diarrhea. Sometimes if you already have, let's say, constipation, soluble fiber can make it worse. Soluble fiber kind of acts like a sponge and it kind of bulks up. Insoluble fiber acts like a broom and it kind of sweeps through the large intestine and potentially the small. So you can really get into the physics and the science of the types of fibers, but in general, for a behavior that is linked or associated to an outcome, focus on fiber. And you can't really go wrong. The little caveat would be if you're navigating any sort of digestion or absorption difficulties, fiber is definitely going to be a little bit more nuanced than that. But if you're working on your weight, fiber can be really, really helpful. I hope this is valuable. If it is, like and subscribe and follow along.